Do you remember the days when riding in the back of a station wagon felt like an adventure? Or how about waiting for the time lady to tell you the weather? If you grew up in the 70s, these forgotten gems were part of everyday life. Let's take a trip down memory lane and revisit the quirky treasures that made the 70s unforgettable. Riding in the back of a station wagon was a common experience for kids growing up in the 1970s. These large family cars had a spacious back area where children could sit, play, and even lie down on long trips. Unlike most modern cars with strict safety rules, station wagons had very few restraints in the back, offering a more carefree ride. If the car had a rear-facing third row of seats, kids could enjoy a unique view of the road behind, making the journey more thrilling. They would wave at drivers and cars behind or play games to pass the time. The back of the station wagon became a small playground with toys, snacks, and sometimes sleeping bags for naps. This practice would not be considered safe by current standards. Wasn't it great to learn in a fun way back then? Let's explore how Schoolhouse Rock made education entertaining. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Schoolhouse Rock was a popular Saturday morning cartoon that helped children learn subjects like grammar, math, and science in an enjoyable way. Each episode included catchy songs and bright animations that made difficult topics easy to grasp. For example, Conjunction Junction taught how conjunctions connect words and phrases. The series covered many different subjects. 3 is a magic number introduced basic multiplication, and I'm Just a Bill explained how laws are made in an interesting way for kids. The educational content was smoothly blended into the stories, making learning feel like a natural part of watching cartoons. It was both entertaining and educational, making a lasting impact on viewers. Schoolhouse Rock made learning fun. What other childhood tradition sparked excitement? Let's explore the joy of circling items in catalogs. Circling items in catalogs from Montgomery Ward, Toys R Us, and Sears was a favorite activity for kids growing up in the 1970s. These catalogs, also known as wish books, were packed with pages of toys, clothes, and gadgets that sparked children's imaginations. As the holiday season neared, kids excitedly flipped through the pages, marking their favorite items with a pen or marker. This ritual wasn't just about choosing gifts, it was a way for kids to dream and plan. They would spend hours talking about which toys were the best or which games they wanted most. Parents and grandparents would use these circled items as hints for holiday shopping, making the catalogs a key part of family traditions. But what if those circled items could come to life? Let's explore the Atari 2600 and its gaming revolution. The Atari 2600 was a revolutionary video game console that became popular in many homes in the late 1970s. It was initially called the Atari Video Computer System and was one of the first consoles to use interchangeable game cartridges. This allowed players to easily switch games, unlike earlier consoles that had built-in games. The Atari 2600 had simple graphics and sounds, but its wide range of games such as Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Pitfall made it a big hit. It came with a joystick and paddle controllers, which were used for different types of games, enhancing the gaming experience. Despite early success, the console faced challenges in the 1980s due to market saturation and increased competition. Could the rise of video games influence other trends like roller skating? Let's explore the skating craze of the 70s. Roller skating at the rink was a favorite activity for kids in the 1970s. These rinks were lively places where children and teenagers gathered to skate, dance, and enjoy themselves. The atmosphere was full of energy, with loud disco music playing and colorful lights flashing across the rink. Skaters would glide around showing off their skills and having fun on the smooth floors. The roller skating craze grew with the rise of disco music. Rinks hosted special theme nights where skaters dressed in disco clothes and danced while skating. Many rinks also had snack bars and arcade games, making it a great place to hang out with friends and escape school pressures. Roller rinks were a blast in the 70s, but do you remember the experience of calling the time lady? Let's explore that next. Calling the time lady was a special and memorable experience for kids growing up in the 1970s. Before smartphones and digital clocks, people would dial a special number to hear the exact time and sometimes the weather. The most famous voice behind these announcements was Jane Barbie, known as the Time Lady. Her clear and friendly voice became a comforting presence for many. The service was provided by telephone companies and helped people set their clocks correctly. Kids enjoyed calling to hear the exact time, using it as a reason to play with the phone. The Time Lady's voice was also used for other automated messages, like when a number was disconnected or unavailable. Did these things bring back memories? Let's explore more iconic 70s toys next. Stretch Armstrong and Evel Knievel toys were beloved by kids in the 1970s. Stretch Armstrong was a unique action figure filled with gel, making his arms and legs stretch up to 4 feet and then return to their normal shape. This feature made the toy popular for imaginative play as children enjoyed his flexibility and durability. The Evel Knievel toys were inspired by the famous stunt performer, with the Evel Knievel stunt cycle being a favorite. The wind-up motorcycle could perform jumps and stunts, and kids loved creating ramps and obstacles to mimic Knievel's daring acts. Both toys became classics, offering endless hours of entertainment for young fans. Stretch Armstrong and Evel Knievel brought excitement to kids' lives. But what else made childhood so unforgettable back then? Let's explore the TV sign-off moments next. TV stations used to shut down at midnight long before 24-hour broadcasting. When the clock hit 12, the screen would show an off-air message. This usually included the national anthem, followed by a test pattern or static. The test pattern, like the RCA Indian Head, helped viewers adjust their TV sets. For many children, staying up late enough to see the TV sign-off was a special treat. It meant the broadcast day had ended and it was time for bed. The sign-off would include a thank you message, sometimes with a poem or patriotic imagery. As technology improved and the need for all-day programming grew, this practice gradually stopped. When TV stations signed off at midnight, it was quite the event. Let's look at some other quirky trends. Let's explore mood rings and pet rocks. Mood rings and pet rocks were two of the most memorable trends of the 1970s, reflecting the playful and quirky nature of the era. Mood rings, introduced in 1975, had heat-sensitive crystals that changed color based on the wearer's body temperature, supposedly showing their emotions. Colors ranged from blue, which signified calm, to black, which indicated stress. These rings quickly became a popular accessory, letting people express their feelings in a colorful way. Pet rocks, created by Gary Dahl, were a humorous pet that required no care. Sold with a cardboard box and a manual, they sold over 1 million units in just a few months. With no need for feeding or walking, they were the perfect pets for busy or lazy owners. Mood rings and pet rocks captured the playful side of the 70s. But what about those iconic lunchboxes kids proudly carried to school? Let's explore the next trend. Metal lunchboxes were a popular item for kids in the 1970s, featuring bright designs and characters from TV shows, movies, and comics. Made from strong metal, these lunchboxes usually included a matching thermos. Brands like Aladdin and Thermos were known for making these well-loved items. Kids eagerly looked forward to new designs each year, with themes like Star Wars, The Brady Bunch, Scooby-Doo, and The $6 Million Man. The lunchboxes were practical for carrying sandwiches and snacks, but also allowed kids to show off their interests and personalities. Bringing a cool lunchbox to school made children proud and often led to conversations and new friendships. Imagine spending hours playing outside with your friends. What memories do you have? Let's explore the joys of those endless outdoor adventures next. Playing outside all day was a key part of childhood in the 1970s. With no smartphones or video games to distract them, kids spent their time exploring nature. From early morning until evening, they enjoyed activities like riding bikes, playing tag, and building forts. The neighborhood was their playground, and the only rule was to be home when the streetlights turned on. Children created their own games using their imagination and anything they could find. Popular games included Red Rover, Freeze Tag, and Hide and Seek. These games not only offered lots of entertainment, but also taught kids important lessons in teamwork, strategy, and resilience. Minor injuries like scrapes and bruises were part of the adventure. Playing outside all day sparked creativity, but what did kids listen to? Let's explore 8-track tapes next. 8-track tapes were a popular music format in the 1970s, known for their unique design and portability. These magnetic tape cartridges, introduced in the mid-1960s, became widely used in cars and homes, allowing people to listen to their favorite music while on the move. The 8-track tape was special because it played in an endless loop, so there was no need to flip it like a cassette. Their convenience was a big draw, as they were easy to use and provided good sound quality for the time. Artists like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and Fleetwood Mac released albums on 8-track, making them a must-have for music fans. The tapes were stored in durable plastic cartridges, making them less likely to get damaged compared to vinyl records. 8-track tapes revolutionized music listening. But what about the places where we found them? Let's explore record stores next. Record stores were special places for kids growing up in the 1970s. They were packed with rows of vinyl records, each one waiting to be explored. Popular chains like Tower Records and Sam Goody, along with many independent shops, became favorite hangouts for music lovers. The experience of browsing album covers, listening to new releases at listening stations, and talking to friendly staff left a lasting impression. These stores were more than just places to buy music, they were cultural centers where people came together to celebrate their love of music. Many stores hosted performances and artist signings, giving fans the chance to meet their idols. The lively atmosphere, filled with posters, band merchandise, and music magazines, made every visit exciting. Record stores brought people together to celebrate music. But what about communication on the road? Let's explore CB radios next. CB radios, also called Citizens Band radios, became very popular in the 1970s and were widely used by both truck drivers and regular people. These portable radios allowed people to talk over short distances, making them ideal for road trips and local communication. The CB radio culture also had its own unique slang, such as 10-4, meaning okay, and breaker to start a conversation. The radios were handy for reporting traffic conditions, asking for help in emergencies, and even organizing events. Truck drivers used them to share road updates and warn each other about speed traps, creating a sense of connection on the roads. Families enjoyed using CB radios for added excitement during their travels. CB radios connected people on the road, but what about entertainment? Let's explore the drive-in theaters next. Drive-in theaters were a popular part of childhood in the 1970s, offering a special way to watch movies outside under the stars. Families and friends would pack into their cars and go to these open-air cinemas, where they could watch two movies back-to-back from the comfort of their vehicles. The experience wasn't just about the movie, it was a social event. People brought blankets, lawn chairs, and picnic baskets, turning the evening into a mini adventure. The air was filled with the smell of popcorn and the sound of car radios tuned to the movie. Kids would play on playgrounds near the screens before the show began. Drive-ins were especially loved during the summer, providing an affordable way to enjoy a night out. So, which of these forgotten things brought back the best memories for you? From arcade games to Saturday morning cartoons, the 70s truly were a unique time to grow up. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more nostalgic content.